Thank you for waiting. I'm Luna Piena. Today we are diving into the Harley's explanation of the three words, breaking it down based on the original Japanese language. Why was the first word swallowed in darkness? What was the dream that moon people saw? Actually, these events described in these passages have already been depicted in the past One Piece stories. Of course, as Soul said, everyone has their own interpretation, so what I'll be sharing today is based on the original Japanese text and my own perspective as Luna Piena. And recently, I was surprised to hear that some of you have been discovering this channel and sharing it with others. To be honest, I sometimes wonder if I'm providing the content worth sharing. But as long as you, the person watching this right now, find this video interesting, then I'll do all my best to break it all down. 地に炎あり、人は欲望に負け、禁断の太陽に触れた。Fire raged across the land. People gave in to their desires and reached for the forbidden sun. This line likely refers to those who sought wealth and ended up tampering with an unlimited energy source known as the Eternal Flame. In fact, Mother Flame called the Eternal Flame, and Vegapunk even compared its development to getting too close to the sun. And now, in the current world of One Piece, there is someone trying to extinguish this fire. Yeah, the person is Imu. The five elders put it this way. 消すべき灯火はお決まりでしょうか? Have you decided which flames should be extinguished? In contrast, the Lunarians physically keep their flames burning, while the Shandians symbolically keep the fire alive by ringing their bell. In fact, the Shandians' bell even features patterns similar to those seen in Elbaf. Yeah, this remarkable pattern. It seems that in various places, through rituals, oral traditions, and other means, people have worked to ensure this fire never goes out. And there was someone who spread this symbolic fire further. Roger. Rary once said, わずかに灯った命の灯火を奴は燃え広がる豪華に変えた。He took a faintly burning flame of the life and turned it into a raging fire. By the way, in the One Piece, the term sun and sun god, in Japanese, 太陽 and 太陽の神, are closely distinguished. Take a look at this line from second world text. Man killed the sun and became a god. Here, it's not the sun god that was killed. Yeah, it especially says the sun, just 太陽, without kami. Of course, it could also imply that Joy Boy, who wielded the power of Sun God Nika, was killed by those who become the gods. In other words, yeah, celestial dragons. But at the same time, this line seems to be emphasizing something else. The celestial dragons destroy the forbidden sun itself. Yeah, certain even said, progress is unnecessary. As long as infinite energy source existed, they couldn't maintain control over the world. Yeah, so they erase it. The sun, the source of unlimited energy. Alright, let's move on to the next passage. 雷神は願い、太陽の神は現れた。Slaves made a wish, and the sun god appeared. This likely refers people who sought wealth through unlimited energy. By harnessing the eternal sun to advance science, society required more labor, leading to individuals being treated as slaves. As Fu explained, those who longed for freedom wished for the existence of the sun god Nika. Yeah, when it comes to Joy Boy and Luffy, it seems they gained the power of the sun god Nika through their devil fruit abilities. However, in this first world, the original sun god might have actually been a real person. 地の神は怒り、豪縁の蛇と共に世界を死と闇で包んだ。The god of the land grew furious, and alongside the serpent of raging fire, wrapped the world in the death and darkness. Here, the god of the land, 地の神, doesn't refer to Earth in the planetary sense, but rather to the substance of the land or soil, the ground itself. In the Shandorian rituals, this deity was called Daichi no Kami. Yeah, while it here is referred to as Chi no Kami. Yeah, a little bit different. That said, interpretations may vary. Yeah, but it's likely the same deity. What's important here is understanding why the god of the land became emerged. And once again, the Skypiea arc holds a key. 400 years ago in Jaya, when Noland killed the great serpent, an earthquake followed. The Shandians believe it was divine punishment, which suggests that the god of the land could actually represent nature disasters, especially earthquakes. Yeah, this idea lines up with what happened when Imu used the Mother Flame to wipe out Lulusia. Immediately afterward, earthquakes shocked the entire world. Perhaps those who developed advanced science after tampering with the Forbidden Sun began creating weapons to solidify their control. The result? Earthquakes, which people then interpreted as wrath of the god of the land. When Robin read the poneglyph on Skypiea, she called it Ancient Weapon Poseidon. Did you notice it? Yeah, she never specified whose perspective classified it as an ancient weapon. But if the poneglyph itself refers to it that way, then these poneglyphs might have been considered ancient from the perspective of the Void Century. Yeah, that means they could have already existed in the first world. Anyway, so what exactly does the Serpent of Hellfire refer to? Yeah, this second phrase. Interestingly, in this ancient mirror, there is a figure that resembles Oz, and his body has distinctive markings. Yeah, how do you think about that? And if you look closely, the serpent-like creature on the right side of the mirror has the same markings. Yeah, since we don't have many examples of ancient giants, it's hard to say for sure, but Oz's skin is red. If this serpent had same red skin as Oz, it could have been metaphorically described as the serpent of hellfire. But there's more. This serpent also has X-shaped skull. Yeah, that brings to mind is the island whales, like Laboon. Many of them had scars on their foreheads, just like Laboon, and the reason? Yeah, they repeatedly ram their heads into the red line. What if this behavior originated from this very serpent? Yeah, perhaps in the ancient times, these enormous red-skinned serpents were wild and destructive. These island whales may try to stop them, repeatedly headbutting them, leaving scars across their bodies. And maybe even now, the whales continue this instinctive behavior, mistaking the red line for the ancient serpent of hellfire and ramming into it over and over. How do you think about this marking? Anyway, the passage also says the world was wrapped in death and darkness, the last one. Yeah, I believe that the darkness that covered the world wasn't caused by any supernatural force, but rather by natural phenomenon. Yeah, when born from rapid advancement of science. Yeah, it's natural. Do you remember the moment in One Piece when broad daylight was suddenly swallowed by darkness, and it instantly turned to night? Yeah, this epic scene in the Skypiea Island. Yeah, actually before Skypiea Island. Yeah, that was due to the appearance of a thick imperial cumulus, which blocked out all light. Cricket once described these clouds like this. When those clouds form a verb, they block out even light itself, turning day into night. Some say the imperial cumulus is a fossilized cloud that has remained afloat for thousands, even tens of thousands of years without even changing. We already know that the world collapsed 800 years ago, Void Century, but there's a theory that these clouds have existed for longer, for tens of thousands of years. That means they could very well date back to the first world. The imperial cumulus is made up of island clouds and sea clouds, which is why they don't turn into rain but instead form the sky island. And these clouds are composed of a substance called pyrobrine. Yeah, pyrobrine is also a key component of sea storm. It's likely that the people of the first world harnessed energy from the Forbidden Sun to create a substance similar to sea stone. Since sea stone is said to be as hard as diamond, it would be incredibly useful for making weapons. Now, think about Wano's Udon prison or the factories shown in Caribou's cover story. They always have smoke rising from them. A similar scene appears in the Adam Muir. Yeah, it's possible that factories reflecting pyrobrine release smoke into the sky, which naturally led to the formation of island clouds. As a result, imperial cumulus clouds spread across the world, blocking out the sun's light and plunging everything into darkness. And with no sunlight reaching the surface, plants would struggle to grow. Food shortages would follow, and people would start dying one after another. And then wrap the world in death and darkness. Yeah, like Harley said like this. Based on my speculation, the first world was consumed by chaos due to technological advancements, and in the end, it was completely swallowed by darkness. But then, the second world begins with this line. Kyomu ni ibuki ari. From the void, a breath of the life emerged. The world was likely shrouded in darkness because of the imperial cumulus. Yeah, as I explained. But then, someone broke through that darkness. Someone who brought forth this breath of life. By the way, the word ibuki, meaning breath, has only been used once in One Piece. It was the name of Sabo's technique when he destroys a Colosseum. Yeah, and what happened right after? Sunlight poured into the underground factory that had been trapped in darkness. Just like that, the One Piece world, there must have been someone who scattered the darkness and brought back the light of the sun. And that person was likely someone like Enel. Yeah, this individual must have dreamed of escaping from the world consumed by darkness. Rather than relying on fire, they discovered a new source of energy. Yeah, electricity. And attempt to break free from the blue planet. His Raigo attack scattered the clouds, destroying both island clouds and sea clouds, including Angel Island. And what was revealed beneath those broken clouds? The light of the sun. Enel calls himself a god, but in the past, someone who did the same as him brought light to the world of darkness, and that person was seen as a true god. 森の神は魔を使わせた. The god of the forest sent forth demons. Perhaps after the breath of the life restored sunlight to the world, plants began to flourish once more. Yeah, this could be why something called the god of the forest was said to have appeared. But then, what does it mean that this god of the forest sent forth demons? This is likely connected to the origin of devil fruit. This is ma is used for devil. Yeah, this is kanji is used for like akuma no mi. Actually, I've already discussed this theory in detail on my original theory focused channel, Dawn Dusk. Yeah, I'll summarize it here, but if you're interested, be sure to check out the full discussion after this video. Anyway, the One Piece world is filled with mysterious trees. First, there's a white tree from Jaya 400 years ago where people believe their ancestors' spirit reside. Then, there's giant radish-like tree on Rusukaina. According to Rayleigh, animals avoid these trees entirely. Yeah, it's strange. And of course, there's a foil tree in those Mokomo Dukedom. Roger, Oden, and Momonosuke all seems to sense something from it. So what the connection? I believe these special trees have the ability to absorb human thoughts and manifest them in the form of souls. And here's the key. Even the Mary, Luffy's previous ship, which housed the spirit of the Klabautermann, was made of wood. That means these trees may have the power to read people's emotions and manifest them into reality. The idea of spirits dwelling in the tree is well known. One famous example is the banyan tree. This tree is believed to absorb people's wishes and grant them, earning it the name wishing tree. Curiously, in the Maldives, this tree called Nika. And Japan has a similar legend, Kodama. Tree spirits believed to reside within ancient trees. It's likely that Oda Sensei incorporated this idea into the world of One Piece that human wishes can reside in trees. The people of the first world tempered with something unnatural, what they called the Forbidden Sun. And that unnatural force may have triggered a chain reaction affecting the rest of nature. Just as the Nika of the first world may have been born from the wishes of the people, perhaps devil fruits are a physical manifestation of human will residing within fruit. The biggest clue comes from Aramaki's word. There are some nuances that change in translation, so here's more direct interpretation from the Japanese version. The forest, like the sea, is the very parent of life, a logia in its own right. From this phrase, in the One Piece world, both forest and the sea are seen as the source of life. They are two great forces of nature. That means eating a devil fruit is essentially receiving unnatural power from the spirit of the tree. And in contrast, the sea, the other great force, rejects the power entirely. 太陽は戦火を広げるばかりだ。The sun does nothing but spread the flame of war. Here it doesn't say the sun god. It specifically says the sun spreading war. That likely refers to Forbidden Sun, the unnatural force that people tempered with. They must have continued advanced science using infinite energy. Like people in the first world. But in the process, they developed weapons, fueling war across the world. It's possible that conflicts broke out over control of this Forbidden Sun, as different factions fought to claim its power for themselves. 半月の人は夢を見た。月の人は夢を見た。The people of the half moon dreamed. The people of the moon dreamed. One key detail to notice here. In the second line, it doesn't say full moon people, because some translations said this, but it simply says moon people or people from the moon. And moon people, 月の人, is a term that has already appeared in the story. Actually, cover story. The title of the mural from Enel's Space Adventure was about the moon people. So it must be referring them. And as for half moon people, you might already guessed, they likely represent the D clan. But what exactly was their dream? This is a tough question, but Ripley once imagined 種族間で交流することが子供の夢だったのかもね。Maybe it was a child dream, to see different races living together. And I believe that's a huge clue. When I think of dreams in One Piece, one that immediately comes to my mind, Enel's dream world. Fairy verse. But fairy verse is just a name. Its true meaning is written in Japanese like this. The endless earth. 限りない大地。そこには見渡す限りの果てしない大地が広がっているのだ。An infinite land stretches as far as the eye can see. That's why I believe the dream of half moon people and the moon people was this. A world where different races could live together as equals, without fighting and without taking from one another. Even Gunfall came to this realization about birth. Birth was never something to be fought over. But in the first world, people obsessed with wealth, driven by technology advancement, were always fighting, always taking, and always dividing themselves. And those who rejected the way of life, they were ones who built the great kingdom. Their true idea may have been to create a world where all races could coexist, sharing abundant energy together in harmony. 人は太陽を殺し神となり、海の神は荒ぶった。Man killed the sun and became a god, and the god of the sea raged. But what does that really mean? Yeah, if the idea of the great kingdom has spread, it would be a direct threat to those who had already accumulated wealth and power. It would be force them to abandon the systems that benefit them. The slave trade, the energy monopolies, and everything else that kept them in control. Fearing the rise of the Great Kingdom's advanced technology and its classless ideology, 20 kingdoms joined forces to wage war against it. And just as the Second World Text suggests, they erased the Forbidden Sun, the infinite energy source, bringing an end to humanity's technological progress. Of course, this also likely meant the destruction of Joy Boy, Sun God himself. And so, the god of sea raged. In other words, after losing Joy Boy, the mermaid princess who possesses the power of Poseidon went on a rampage. Yeah, we've already seen how Shirahoshi as a child unleashed her power when her mother was nearly assassinated with a Muskald. Her cries summoned the Sea Kings. Yeah, of course, the ancient weapons likely controlled by world government might also play the role in the raising sea level after Lucia's destruction. But when we think of the god of the sea, Poseidon seems like the most fitting interpretation. And if the mermaid princess awoke her power right after reading Joy Boy's apology poneglyph, that makes things even more intriguing. By the way, the poneglyph that revealed Poseidon's location was found in the ancient city of Shandora. It had existed on the sea long before Jaya was launched into the sky. And yet, the Shandians who lived there wore wings. That suggests they had contact with the sky people. Maybe long ago, their ancestor hoped that if Poseidon ever raged again, the people of the sky would stand alongside with once more to save those caught in the chaos. 混沌に空白あり. In chaos, there was a void. Based on my theory, it was the mermaid princess who lost Joy Boy along with the destruction caused by the ancient weapons that triggered a massive war, one that ultimately sank the old world. As a result, a void was left in history. That's exactly what Vegapunk explained. 不都合な残影は約束の日を思い出し、片割れ月の声を聞く。An inconvenient afterglow, remember the promised day, and listen to the voice of the half moon. Yeah, the word afterglow, in this case, 残影, can be interpreted in different ways. One meaning is a faint light, another is a lingering image. Here, a faint light seems like most fitting interpretation. And that brings us to the idea of flame. Yeah, the flame that Imu wishes to distinguish. 消すべき灯火. In other words, this could refer to the will of D, a flame that has been passed down through generations. As Imu said, the current D clan is nothing but empty shells. Due to the Void Century, many of them no longer understand what their name truly means. But still, they will remember the promised day. That likely means they will uncover by deciphering all the poneglyphs and learning the promise made in the past. The Roger Pirates seems to know about this promise as well. Yeah, the D-Clan, along with all those who have inherited the flame scattered across the world, have been waiting for that promise to be fulfilled. And pay attention, some may translate this as a fragment of the moon. Yeah, this 片割れ月. But in this context, the half moon is the more fitting interpretation. Yeah, this is different from the half moon people mentioned in the second word. Yeah, as this phrase carries a nuance rooted in classical Japanese literature. Katawarezuki. Yeah, have you ever heard? In Japanese, katawarezuki means a moon that half or more obscured. Yeah, there's actually a famous medieval Japanese poem that includes this phrase. 会うことは片割れ月の雲隠れ、おぼろけにはや人の小意識。Yeah, it's difficult to translate it directly, but I try it. Meeting you is like half moon hiding behind the clouds. I long for you, yet I cannot see you. It expresses the sorrow of being to reunite with someone dear. Yeah, and this very line appears in One Piece. Yeah, in the final chapter of Kalgara and Nolan's flashback. Shendora was physically launched into the sky by the knock-up stream, separating the two forever. They both died without ever meeting again. So, could it be the same for the D-Clan? Were they once separated from someone in the past, someone they could never meet again? Yeah, perhaps those people left for the moon, or maybe they were lost to the flow of the time itself. The truth remains a mystery. For me personally, this part of Hare is the most difficult to interpret. 太陽の神は踊り、笑い、世界を終末へと導く。The sun god dances and laughs, leading the world to its end. Once again, the sun god appears. Yeah, but interestingly, the second world text never mentions the sun god at all. Yeah, just sun. It's heartbreaking, but maybe Joy Boy's era was never meant to succeed. Even so, he might have left the One Piece behind to fight against the fate. And just as Madame Shari foresaw, Luffy, who now carries Nika's power, will inevitably bring the world to its end. Yeah, back in the Arlong's arc, Luffy once said, "This room is the problem. If it's a place she never wanted to be, I'll destroy it myself." Yeah, I like this phrase. Yeah, and then he smashed the room where Nami was forced to stay, yeah, for making the maps. Now, imagine if the entire world, if the blue planet itself become a place where people no longer want to be. If that happened, Luffy just might tear it all down. 太陽は回帰し、新しい朝が来る。The sun will return and a new dawn will rise. Yeah, the word 回帰, this one, yeah, which means return, here implies something completing a circle, going full circle back to where it started. I think Enel's word is important. Yeah, he once said, the earth has its place, people have theirs, and gods have a place to return to as well. In other words, even the Forbidden Sun must have a place where it truly belongs. Yeah, so perhaps in the end, the sun will return to its rightful state, restoring balance and once again providing energy equally to all. If that's the case, then what Enel called the natural order might not have been so wrong after all. Maybe it was humanity's interference with the Forbidden Sun that disrupted everything. People just tapped into a natural, infinite energy source, and as a result, they fought over it. Yeah, and that conflict. It what set the world on the path to chaos. As I explained, even Gunfall came to this realization about Verse. Verse was never something to be fought over. Likewise, the 20 kingdoms of that era must have reached the same conclusion. That Forbidden Sun was not something that could be controlled or claimed. So they chose to erase it entirely. At first, this might make it seem like Joy Boy and the Great Kingdom with all their advanced technology were the villains in the story. But this is exactly what Vegapunk refers to as the clash between two ideologies. Personally, I don't believe Joy Boy or the Great Kingdom ever intend to monopolize technology for themselves. Instead, they must have been searched for another way. Some extraordinary solution to resolve this contradiction. And the answer they arrived at could be the true nature of the One Piece. I actually have a few ideas in mind, and once I organize my thoughts, I plan to release video on Dawn Dusk about One Piece. What is One Piece? That said, if we go by this ancient mirror, the demonic dragon is shown holding the sun, which means the Forbidden Sun may still exist somewhere in this world. And if that's the case, then it's only a matter of time before someone tries to use it. Yeah, to seize control of the world itself. Alright, let's tackle the final and perhaps most important phrase in this array. The closing lines of each word's description. 彼らはもう会えないのだ。They will never meet again. 彼らはきっと会えるだろう。They will surely meet again. But who exactly are they? Yeah, this is the biggest question. Honestly, we can't say for sure. There are many possibilities, but one that stands out is the two kings. Yeah, mentioned by the Sea Kings in the Roger's flashback. Yeah, Odin's flashback. One of them is almost certainly is the Mermaid Princess, the Queen of the Sea Kings. As for the other, that remains a mystery. But I believe the answer may lie within this ancient mirror. In the mirror, there are only two figures wearing crowns. One is a mermaid queen holding what looks like a trident. The other is a human king standing aboard a ship that closely resembles Noah's Ark. Could this mirror be showing us that these two kings were completely separated into different worlds? We don't know which world its mirror refers to, but perhaps before people tampered with the Forbidden Sun, these two lived in the same world. Because of humanity's interference with the Forbidden Sun, one of them was sent away to another world. Maybe the first king remained in the first world, while the mermaid princess was cast into the second world. Yeah, after all, as Toki, in the One Piece world, no one can return to the past, but they can move forward into the future. Which means the mermaid princess who met Joy Boy was someone from the past. And now, at least in the third world, the long-awaited reunion of these two kings, the one the Sea Kings and the whales have been waiting for, will finally come true. Yeah, so far we've gone through the detailed breakdown and interpretations of Harry's text in Japanese. If you are curious about other key parts of chapter 1138, I've also provided Japanese explanation on my page, so feel free to check it out. If you're learning Japanese, I think you'll find it really useful. Yeah, I think so. And right now, everyone can leave comments, so if you have any questions about Japanese thoughts on One Piece, I'd love to hear them. Anyway, thank you so much for watching until now. See you in the next video.